Okay. So today I'll just give you an overview. See, there are different types of POs, right? For example, we have already discussed standard PO. One more would be like multiple GRNs and multiple invoices. So, for example, if you're receiving an PO ordered quantity in multiple shipments, so we'll be receiving GRNs also as per the received quantity only, right? For example, if your ordered quantity is 1,000, and if you're receiving in two shipments, 500 each, you'll be receiving in two GRNs. Similarly, you can even there is a chance that vendor can send an invoice, only one invoice for all the 1,000 quantity, or else he can send two different invoices, so like 500 each. So either of the ways, like it is possible. It's practically. Also, sometimes there are chances, for example, in the previous example, we considered 1,000 quantity we have ordered, right? In the first GRN, if you have received 500 quantity and your warehouse management or warehouse staff, they got to know that there is some missing quantity or some damaged or something like that. So in that case, see, damaged is nothing. See, damaged in that case you'll be returning those goods, but here it is not. Instead of damaging, let's say for example, if there is any mistake or through oversight, if he has assumed that even if there is a difference of 50 quantity while counting, after posting GRN, see, he has just assumed that we have received a carton box of 500 quantity, and later he realized that there is some missing quantity of 50. So in that case, we can even correct the PRN, right? So instead of canceling and even instead of sending a credit note, or instead of asking for the credit note from the vendor, internally in our system only we can just update it as a, instead of 500 we can update it as a 50. That means correction mode. So whenever there is a missing of any goods, you can correct the PO or correct the GRN, and we can even cancel the GRN or PO for any reason it may be. If in case if you want to cancel PO or GRN or any invoice anything, that also can be done. Cancellation of PO or GRN invoice. Yeah. So these are the most. Also, there's one more scenario. Assume that you have raised two purchase orders, and your vendor has sent only one invoice. Like combining for all the quantity whatever you have received for both POs, he'll be sending only one invoice. In that case, uh, let's say for example, one invoice for multiple POs. So even this is also possible, right? It is not necessary that you should be receiving on different invoices for different POs. Sometimes he can send only one invoice. So we have already discussed the standard PO. We'll quickly create the multiple POs one, for example. So what is the navigation? Accounts payable. Let me just collapse all. If you see here under purchase orders, click on all purchase orders. Yeah. Click on new. So we'll select the vendor. I've just created multiple vendors here. Also, as I mentioned, while creating the purchase order, ensure that this purchase type is here, right? Under this drop down, purchase order should be selected. So sometimes if you see, there is an default option which, for example, if you want to ensure this purchase type is being selected a purchase order, in procurement and sourcing, you will have to enable that option. In procurement and sourcing parameters, yeah, under general default values is here, right? If you select this purchase type as a purchase order, so whenever you create any purchase order, by default it will be selected. If you select this journal, then you will not be able to post any GRN or invoice. So for that reason, we'll select this as a purchase order. Also, one more important under this delivery parameters, enable this under delivery and accept over delivery. So these two options should be flagged off. So at times, as I mentioned, there are chances you will be receiving under delivery also, right? Or sometimes you might be receiving an extra quantity also. In that case, if you want to allow any of your end users to post or to receive any such GRNs or invoices, then you have to enable this option, or else it will throw an error stating that whatever the quantity that you have entered, it is not matching as per the PO, so you will not be able to post GRN or invoice. So these two are the most important parameters you will have to enable. Yeah. So now we'll quickly come back to this PO form here. So anyways, these are mandatory fields. Like if you have to select the site and the warehouse, click on OK. Yeah. So we have just selected the vendor MRF, right? If in case if you want to see for what all products we can purchase from this particular MRF, you can click on options, not in options, click on general. Yeah. Under this related information, can you see approved to supply? So this vendor, whatever the products is allowed or is approved to supply, those products you can see here. See, these are the products which you are supposed to supply. If you try to purchase any other product, or if you try to create any other, select any other product, it will throw an error that he is not authorized or is not approved to supply those products. So for the time being, I have just added these 4 products. So he'll be sharing, he'll be, supplying the only these products. All right. So under this purchase order lines, for example, if I want to select, so what are the products he's allowed to sell? These are the item numbers. You can either search using the item numbers or the product here. Let me just select the cricket bat here. Yeah. So I have selected the cricket bat here. Also, let me select 10 quantity. Each unit price is 1000 rupees. Okay. So once you are confirmed with the quantity whatever you're supposed to purchase, you can update here. And also, let's say for example, if you want to confirm this one, you can just click on the purchase, click on confirmation. So it is asking you the few details here. So we'll just select document date. Okay. Yeah. So the purchase order has been confirmed. Can you see the yes? The status has been changed to confirmed. Earlier it was draft. It wasn't draft status. Also, for any reason, if you want to cancel this purchase order in this stage itself, before moving it to purchase GRN or invoice stage, if you want to cancel here itself, there is an option here under purchase order. There is a maintain, right? Cancel is there. If you click on cancel, this purchase order will be cancelled at this stage itself. So now quickly we'll go to the GRN. So assume that we will be receiving these the 10 quantity whatever we have ordered, right, in 2 shipments. That is for 5 each, or let's say we'll try for 2 shipments. Click on product receipt. Let me use the PRN number. Document date. Yeah. So can you see here ordered quantity? What is the ordered quantity? This is the PO details. These are the purchase order lines. Ordered quantity is 10, right? But will be receiving only 5 quantity. So vendor has just confirmed that he will not be able to supply all the 10 quantity, and only 5 quantity he can deliver. So the moment you enter the quantity, the remaining quantity will be updated as a deliver reminder. That means you are supposed to receive 5 more quantity from the vendor. Also, there is an option called close for receipt. So this close for receipt is nothing but, for example, if your vendor has told that he may not be able to supply the remaining quantity of 5, even in the next shipment or for any reason, even in future also he may not be able to supply. So in that case, if you enable this option as a close for receipt as 2 yes, then the purchase order or so once you post the GRN, the purchase order process will be completed. So assuming that, so purchase order will assume that yes, this vendor is no longer going to supply the remaining product, and it will be adjusted only for the 5 quantity. So in our scenario, let us not uh, enable this as an yes here. So we'll just quickly, yeah, can you see here, even under the inventory also, deliver reminder has been changed to 5 default. So based on the details of like whatever the quantity we have given, it has been updated over here. So now click on OK. Also, the status here is open order is here, right? So it will remain open order itself till you receive the complete 10 products or whatever the ordered quantity, or else see either the PO has to be cancelled, or it has to be adjusted with the close for receipt, or it has to be received ordered quantity. Else the status will still remain as a open order itself. So since we have received 5 quantity, right? So we are just updated as a 5 quantity. If you see the product receipt, that is a journal entry, it should be only for 5 quantity. Yeah, can you? Okay. So if you see here, purchase expenditure. Yeah, this cost. Ignore this uninvoiced expenditure entry. That is, anyways, we'll not be looking into that. Once we incur any expenditure, then only this invoice, this journal entry will be valid. So if you see here, cost of purchase in materials, right? So what is this is a journal entry, cost of purchase in materials received, account data to purchase accrual. This is an uninvoiced one, and this is a liability. Okay, if you click on the vouchers, we should be able to see them. Okay, it will take some time. Again, we can come back and see the vouchers here. Also, as I mentioned, assume that Vero's team has just after posting this GRN. So there will be different departments, right? Warehouse team will be within warehouse also there will be different teams again. Just for posting GRN itself, there will be separate team, and quantity verification will be done by the separate team, right? So after posting this GRN, we just got to know that there is some difference, or for some reason there is a change, or they just wanted to update the right quantity. Then you can click on the correct here in that scenario. So if you see here, what was the quantity we have updated? 5. But we just got to know that we have received only 3 quantity. So instead of 5, we have received only 3 quantity. So the delivery reminder will quickly update it to the balance one, 7. Even here also, the quantity to be reversed. So this is what we did, right? Like we do not want to enter the 5 quantity. We just wanted to enter only 3 quantity, and the quantity reversed to be it will pick automatically. Now click on OK. So it is asking, it is throwing a disclaimer. There will be change in batch numbers or anything, right? Yes, we want to go ahead and process this GRN. Now click on OK. Yes. Yeah. So if you click on the history, here you should be able to see 2 PRNs. See, 2 PRNs in the sense it is not 2 PRNs, the same PRN which is the original one and which is a corrected one. Yeah. So this is so if you want to check, like for example, assume that you are uh, verifying, or if you are auditing any purchase orders after posting this GRN, after a long time, after like let's say 2 3 months after, uh, see and you got to know that there is a difference in the received quantity. And if you want to check the history, what exactly had happened, what was scenario, in that case, if you just click on the compare versions, you should be able to see both what had happened. For example, if you click on the product receipt lines, wait, let me just go back. Let me select both and click on compare versions. Yeah. If you see here, it clearly shows the values like old value and the new value. It is nothing but it is showing that you are receiving in 2 quantities. And later you got to know that instead of 5, only 3 quantities the actual quantity which you have received. So this is a new value one. See, this is just for your reference. That's all. Like whenever you do audit purposes, you can just check this.
Your voice is breaking.
I think someone has unmuted. Can you please go on mute? Okay. Also, there will be a separate voucher also for every correction, whatever you did. Let's see what is the voucher that has been updated here. Yeah. So if you see, initially we have received 5,000. I mean, we have updated as a 5,000, right? Later we have updated it is only for 3. So that's the reason it has deducted. It took only for 3,000 quantity and 2,000 it has reversed here. Can you see it? From purchase accrual, instead of 5, it has updated to only 3 quantity. Even here also, if you click on the voucher, yeah, can you see it? This is the first one. Initially we have updated as a 5,000, right? This is the first one, and this is the latest one. So do you have any doubts here? How to correct, PRN or till here, whatever the steps we have followed, right? So do you have any doubts here? Hello, are you there?
ఎస్ శ్రీనివాస్ అది ఒకసారి ఇంతకుముందు వినలే కదా, ఇది కొంచెం డిఫరెంట్గా అనిపిస్తుంది. సో మళ్ళీ వింటే అర్థమవుతుంది.
ఏం లేదు, ఫస్ట్ అయితే ఈ సినారియోస్ అర్థమైనా కదా కరెక్షన్ చేయాలంటే. స్టాండర్డ్ పిఓస్ అది కామన్ ఉంటుంది. జస్ట్ ఆప్షన్స్ చూసుకో, కరెక్ట్ చేయాలంటే ఇక్కడ, క్యాన్సిల్ చేయాలంటే ఏంది, హిస్టరీ అంటే ఏంటిది అనేది.
ఇది పర్లేదు, ఇవి చిన్న చిన్నవి ఇక్కడ
అంతే. ఇక నువ్వు చూస్తే టూల్ ఓపెన్ చేసి చూస్తే నీకు అర్థమైపోతుంది అంతే, ఇంకేం లేదు. సో as we have already we have even discussed, like if you want to cancel this PRN for any reason, if you want to cancel, you can just after posting GRN, you can click on cancel here. See, it will ask you whether you want to continue or not. You can continue if you want to cancel this PRN. So let me just select it as a no. Yeah. Yeah. So we have received an only 3 quantity, right? Now what is the balance quantity we are supposed to receive? That is for 7 quantity. So we will quickly create one more GRN, assuming that after 10 days vendor is going to supply, or let's say for example tomorrow or any reason. Let's say for example 5.1. So if he is going to supply these products tomorrow, so we'll give tomorrow's date. And if you see, the quantity has been picked up, the 7 quantity. This is a remaining quantity. See, system doesn't know whether you will be receiving in 2 shipments or 3 shipments. If you even in the second shipment also vendor has sent only 5 goods, then you can update it as a 5 goods here. Or if you are receiving all the remaining quantity, then you can update the 7 quantity. And under the inventory, delivery reminder will become 0. So this is how you can update multiple GRNs for the same single PO. Now let's see the journal entry here. You click on the product receipt. See, these are the two PRNs, right? 25 and 25.1. So if you click on the, let me select this one and we'll see the VV accounting. So this is the first one. See 5,000, 3,000. Why is this? Since initially we have updated the changes, right? From 5,000 to 3,000. For that reason, it has reversed the journal entry here. So this is the actual quantity. So do you have any doubts here? If you download this journal entries, then you should be able to understand. If you click on the vouchers, yes, it has been updated now. Also, if you want to if you want to export these journal entries into Excel sheet, click on the Microsoft Office here. Click on Export to Excel. Click on General Journal Entry. Click on Download. So let me hide these two options here. So what is a journal entry? Like whenever there is a GRN, inventory received uninvoiced account data to accrued purchases. So this is the initial journal entry, right? Before correction. Is it clear? So assume that you have this is a correct. This is a first entry. So without doing any changes, inventory received uninvoiced has been debited. Since this is an asset, but it is uninvoiced, so that's the reason it has been debited, and accrued purchase is a liability. But later you realize that there is a difference of quantity. So in that case, it has to be reversed. This accrued purchases 5,000 has been credited, right? So that will be debited, and again it will credit only accrued purchases 3,000 and inventory received 2,000. So this is a correction entry. See, the reason why I am explaining this journal entry separately is there are chances, for example, during interview, if they ask you what is a journal entry, whenever there is a difference in quantity or whenever there is a change in PRN. So this is how you have to explain. The first entry will be the actual quantity. This is a corrected one, and later when you realize that it has to be reduced from 5,000 to 3,000, then this accrued purchases will be debited, whatever that has been credited, and this is the correct quantity, right? 3,000, and even from inventory invoice also you have to reduce this 2,000. So are you getting this one? Hello?
ఎస్ బ్రో అర్థమైంది.
So this is a journal entry. Whenever there is a correction in GRN. So if you are clear with this one, then we'll go for the balance entry. So this is the latest PRN, right, for the remaining quantity. So if you click on the vouchers, it will show you the 7 quantity. So here there is no difference. I mean, we didn't face any issues here. We have whatever the quantity he is supposed to send, the remaining quantity 7. Even our warehouse team also has confirmed we have received 7 quantity. There is no doubt here. So that's the reason there is no adjustments here. It is very clear. Inventory received uninvoiced account data 7,000 to accrued purchases. Same if you select both and click on the okay, yeah. So okay, so as I mentioned, if you want to cancel, you can even cancel even in this stage also. If you want to correct, even that can be done. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Hello. Hello.
బ్రో నీ వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తుంది.
సో ఇది ఇప్పటిదాకా అర్థమైంది ఇది. So now we have received multiple GRNs, that is 2 GRNs, and assuming that when vendor will be sending only one invoice here. Now click on invoice, click on generate. See, see, as you mentioned, even here also, vendor might be sending two different invoices or one invoice, right? If you want to apply two different invoices, then you can select. And also, if you see here in the product receipt, by default it will be with both the invoices. So by default there are two GRNs, right? It will pick both the PRNs here, but later you can select here. If you want to select only one invoice, only the one GRN, let's say for example, in this case, assume that we will be invoice description, let it be get that. So today itself we have received an invoice. If vendor has sent invoice only for 3 quantity, in that case you have to click on match product receipts. By default, both parents will be picked up here. And in our assumption, vendor has sent only one invoice that is for 3 quantity. Then you'll have to select this PRN. Or if vendor has sent one invoice for both the quantity, then you can select both PRNs. So we'll try to select only one here. Click on OK. So even here in a invoice line also, by default it will be picked only 3 quantity. Now click on update match status. If you see it, match status has been passed. Click on post. Yeah, so the invoice has been posted here, and if you click on the journal entries, there will be one entry only for 3 quantity. Okay, so it will take some time to generate. In the meanwhile, you can see on the PV accounting. See. So this is a reversal entry, right? So if you want to see in depth, you can click on export here. Let me just hide this both. Yeah. So whenever you receive an invoice, two types of entries will come. One is GRN will be reversed, and one more is the actual liability one. So GRN reversal entry will be purchase accrual will be debited. So which has been credited initially, it will be debited here. And uninvoiced account, it will be sorry, this one cost of purchasing materials received. So this will be credited. So this is a GRN entry, right? So if you have a doubt, we can quickly see here. See, cost of material uninvoiced has been debited, accrued purchase has been credited. So the same entry has been, yeah. So accrued purchase has been credited, right? Here it is debited, and cost of purchase material has been. So don't get confused. This is uninvoiced only. This is a posting type. That's the reason you are able to see it as a received here. And what is a journal entry? Whenever you receive an invoice, what is the journal entry? So assume that this purchase expenditure will not look into this one. Yeah. So this is a correct entry, right? Cost of purchase materials invoiced account data to vendor balance. Vendor balance is nothing but the accounts payable. Yeah. So whenever you receive an invoice, GRN entry will be reversed, and accounts payable will be credited, and invoiced account data will be debited. So do you have any doubts here? Hello. Can you all please acknowledge if you are able to understand?
సో లాస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఒకసారి చెప్పు.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ GRN ఎంట్రీ అర్థమైందా ఇది?
అది అర్థమైంది.
ఇది అర్థమైంది కదా. సో ఇన్వాయిస్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఎంట్రీ రివర్స్ అవ్వాలి కదా. సో GRN
అవును.
ఎంట్రీ రివర్స్ చేయాలి. సో రివర్స్ అయిందా ఇక్కడ? పర్చేజ్ అక్రూవల్ ఇక్కడ క్రెడిట్ అయినది ఇక్కడ
ఇక్కడ
డెబిట్ అయిందా?
అవుతుంది.
ప్లస్ ఇది ఏదైతే క్రెడిట్ డెబిట్ అయిందో అన్ఇన్వాయిస్డ్ అకౌంట్ ఇక్కడ క్రెడిట్ అవ్వాలా? ఇది క్రెడిట్ అయిందా?
ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు ఇన్వాయిస్ అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి ఇన్వాయిస్ డెబిట్ చేద్దాం, వెండర్ బ్యాలెన్స్ క్రెడిట్ చేస్తాం అంతే.
ఓకే.
Okay. So if you want to see the journal entry, for example, if you click on the voucher, even voucher also by this time it has to be generated. Yeah, same it will show you. It will show both posting type and account name both. So these are the account names which we have given, right? Same it will show you. If you want, I can even post this one also for your reference. So in this scenario, we have received only one invoice that is for 3,000 quantities or 3 quantity, right? And what is the balance quantity left? 7 quantity. So now let's quickly generate one more invoice for the remaining quantity. As I mentioned, the balance quantity, what is 7, right? 7 is left. So by default, it will be picked. If you still, even in this invoice also, vendor has sent only for 5 quantity, then you can even select that also. For example, similarly, let me just give the same. I can give the future date as well. Click on match product receipts. So there's only one invoice, one PRN is left, right? Which is with the 7 quantity. So if there is a mistake in invoice quantity, if there is a mistake in invoice, there are chances even that is also possible. Or if there is no, if it is clear, whatever the invoice has been sent only for the 7 product, then you can click on match. By default, it will be enabled as a yes. Then you can click on OK. Yeah. Now click on update match status. This match status has to be changed to past. Okay. Now click on post. So now the purchase order for 10 quantity which we have ordered, it is completed, and we have received in two shipments and 2 different invoices. Same logic applies here also. 2 different journal entries will be posted for different invoices. See, for 25 and 25.1, you click on this one. Click on voucher. It is not generated. If you see on view accounting, same. For 7,000, 2 entries will be posted. One is reversal and one more is the actual one. And if you see the purchase order status, it has been updated to invoice. Now the process of purchase order has been completed. So there's no pending with this purchase order. Everything is cleared now. Yeah. So do you have any doubts here? We have covered multiple GRNs and invoices, missing goods correction, GRN correction, and cancellation. That also I have shown you the example. And the last one is one invoice for multiple GRNs, multiple POs. So for this one, we'll have to create two POs. We'll quickly select the vendor. Site, warehouse, okay. Before selecting the product, let me see what all products we can get it from this vendor. Approved to supply, revoke. We can collect, we can receive 01, that is for youth accessory composite, and one more is 59631. Let's say, for example, we'll go for youth accessory set here. We are raising a purchase order for 10 quantity. We click on purchase, confirmation. Click on OK. And let me also receive the products. GRN 0026. So we'll receive all the quantity here. So here in this case, I'll not be posting the invoice because as I mentioned, for two POs, he has sent only one invoice, right? For that reason, I'll not post here as an invoice. So instead of that, let me quickly receive the one more, create one more PO here. From the Reebok vendor. So assuming that we have created two POs and also we have received the whatever the ordered quantity, and even after repeated requests, vendor has not sent the invoice. Let's say after a few months, he has sent only one invoice. In that case, we'll have to adjust the same PO for both the POs, right? I mean, same invoice for both the POs. So, what is the other product he has supplied or he's allowed to supply? 059. 05. Let me enter 10 quantity. Right. Let me just quickly confirm this one. Let the document date be tomorrow's date. Okay. Yeah. Also, even in this case, also let me receive all the quantity, 10 quantity in the single shipment. GRN 027. Click on OK. Yeah. So we have not received an invoice, right? Maybe after 2 months, if in case if we send in the same invoice, and you have to post that invoice, right? And we'll have to go to the invoices. Pending vendor invoices is there, right? If you click on the pending vendor invoices, click on new. So Reebok, sorry, not HP. So we have received an invoice from Reebok vendor. Let me quickly see the purchase orders. Yeah, for these two, purchase orders, he has sent invoice, right, for 26 and 27. So let me just select this as a 26. For both POs, he has sent only one invoice. So here you can select the purchase orders 26. Click on add symbol. And what is the other PO? 27, right? You can select this one. And you can even see the quantity also here. So 10 quantity. Click on OK. And the status has been updated to multiple. If you see here, he has sent one invoice for youth accessory sets and premium cricket bats both. For both these POs and for both GRNs, he has sent only one invoice. Now click on update match status. It has been passed. Click on post. Now it has been posted here. Yeah. Okay. So do you have any doubts here?
No.
So these are the most common scenarios. If you have any new scenario, you can try that one, exploring that. Like you can try multiple combinations, one GRN, two invoices, one PO, one GRN, the two invoices. So something like that. You can keep trying any combinations if you want to practice.